Hello, friends. This is teacher Cher B, and we are going to do another lesson on fractions. In this lesson, we are going to divide fractions. Fractions are broken up into many different categories, but in this one, we are going to talk about how to divide fraction by fraction. Then we are going to talk about how to divide fraction by whole number, then fraction by mixed number, and then mixed number divided by mixed number. So let's get into it. As mentioned, the first thing we are going to talk about is fraction divided by fraction. And we are going to look at like denominators. In our previous lessons, we mentioned that like denominators is the same thing as having the same denominator. So let's look at an example. You have 3/6 divided by 4/6. Notice that your denominators are the same. And we know that when our denominators are the same, we are going to ignore them, meaning that you're not going to add, you're not going to subtract. In this case, we're not going to divide them. We are simply going to ignore our denominators. And then we are going to focus on our numerators. So you have 3 in your numerator and you also have 4 in your numerator. What are you going to do with these? You are going to divide your numerators. So you're going to do 3 divided by 4. You can write it a couple of ways. You can write it as a fraction, or you can write it as a regular division problem. But since we are working with fractions, we can write this as a fraction by reading it from left to right. This 3 is going to be your numerator, and the 4 is going to be your denominator. So it will be 3 over 4, or 3/4. And that's how you would write it as a fraction. As a division problem, you can do 3 divided by 4. But since we are talking about fraction, you want to make sure that you keep it in its fraction state by doing numerator first and then denominator. And you do that by reading it from left to right. We're not going to write it as a long division problem because, again, we're working with fractions.